Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes, change our lives. Just want to wish a happy birthday to Chana. Not my Chana, but my sister-in-law. It's her birthday today. Very special day, Chaf Cheshvan. Should have Shnas Tzlacha, Begashas Baruchnius, and all that she needs and wants. Okay, so we're going to discuss today a little bit about the relationship between the neshama and the guf, or in the language of the Sikha, Avram and Sarah. Let's see, very interesting. We're going to go shtickle there, and now we're going to explain what it means. You know, one of the things I heard, that the difference between Kabbalah and Chassidus. So one simple difference, like it says in Kunshus, in Yanish Chassidus, which we've learned before, is that Kabbalah is one of the levels of interpretation. Chassidus is not another level of interpretation. Chassidus is the neshama of the Torah. So the interpretation of Chassidus goes into everything. But some people think, especially I thought that in the beginning when you learn Chassidus and you hear all these Kabbalistic things, it's like another type of Kabbalah. But another way of explaining it is that Chassidus, the Kabbalah, is telling you the what. It's like telling you what's in the picture. Chassidus explains to you why. What do you do with this information? So now there's a world of Atzilus and a world of Bria and Yitzira and there's Atzmus. So what is that meant to do for me? How am I meant to live life? How am I meant to change myself this way? Let's see. Parshas Chayei Sarah. The Parshas Shavua Nem, and this week's Parsha says, Tamas Sarah B'Kiras Arba Hi Chevron. And Sarah passes away in the Kiras Arba, which is Chevron, Be'eretz Canaan, the land of Canaan. Maz Be'azayah, so the Zayah explains, Shesara Reimez Laguf V'Avram L'Neshama. That Sarah is like the body, and Avram is like the Neshama. Zeu Oimer Hazayah. This is what the Zayah says. V'Tamas Sarah, that Sarah passed away, meaning in context of the neshama and the guf, the guf has passed away. Shaguf makes so the Zohar explains this pasuk according to Kabbalah. So what is that? Is so Tamas Sarah? It's when the guf passes away, where the Kiras Arba, which is in the spiritual terms Hamurka Me'abri, so this Kiras Arba in the plains of Arba, but Arba also refers to the four elements. There's earth, the inanimate, animate, growth, okay, animal and human. So it's referring to the four levels. Abi say this. No, sorry, not those four. The other four, which is earth, fire, wind, water. Says here Chevron, Hamuchabarim be'es. That they were connected to in the time of our life. Azai b'moisei. Then when you pass away, vayavay Avram, and Avram comes. What does it mean? Avram comes. The neshama lisboy the l'sara l'bekaisa, to mourn and to eulogize for Sarah. And the neshama is eulogizing the body. Very interesting. And the neshama that the neshama is crying because even after the body passes away, even though the neshama goes up, the neshama is eternal, but also has a connection to the body still. So the hanacha shesar remes laguf avram l'neshama. Now, based off what the Zohar is saying, is that Sarah is in the neshama, is a guf, and Avram is in the neshama. We have a question. Something doesn't make sense. Everything that Sarah says, you should listen to her voice. Hashem said to Avram, they should listen to Sarah. Sarah wants to kick out Yishmael, and Avram doesn't want to. And Hashem says to him, whatever Sarah says, listen. Now, so that was asking a very good question. According to the Zohar, Sarah is a guf, and Avram is a neshama. Now, if you ask yourself, who should you be listening to? Your body, your neshama, or your neshama, your body or your soul? Who would you say? Of course, if I want to make the right decision, I should listen to the neshama. The neshama knows what's best. The neshama is connected above. But here with the Zohar, according to what the Zohar is saying, the other pasuk, how does that work? So we should listen to the body, not the neshama. What's going on over here? Let's see. Base. Yodua, it's known, Baal Shem Tov, the famous saying of Baal Shem Tov, I said, I also found it on the pasuk. Kisir Chamar Senecha. This is a famous pasuk that Baal Shem Tov teaches. Very famous part. So when you see the Chamar, literally means the donkey of your enemy. So Paul said, see the donkey of your enemy that's struggling under its load. Azar Tazar, you should go help him. Meaning, even though it's your enemy, you should go help him. So the Baal Shem Tov teaches, and that's what we're going to discuss, that when you see that your chamar, meaning your chumrius, your gashmius, you look at your gashmius, you look at the physical world, and you say to yourself, so hard having to make a living, so hard having to do all these physical things, I don't got time to daven properly, I got time to learn it all. When I was in seminary, it was good, when I was in yeshiva days, I was good. And it's so hard now being in the physical world, and I don't like it, I don't want to be here. I want to go back. I wish I was back there. And we have this idea, well, it was better over there. So he says you have to help it. So we're going to explain this. Kisir chamar, when you see donkey, meaning, what's the teach of the pasuk? When you look at your physicality, your costness, when you see that your enemy, Mishum, why is it the enemy? Because beginning of the beginning of life, there's a hatred between the guf and the neshama. There's this like struggle to get, like my body wants to eat ice cream and the neshama wants to go learn, and I'm struggling with this struggle. So when that happens, and you see, and the neshama sees that it's struggling under its load, that then for the guf, the load, the burdensome load is the Torah mitzvahs. So the Merish is there, being that then the body needs to do the mitzvah, but it's heavy, it's hard and struggling, and it's not doing a good job of it, and it's struggling to get up in the morning, and it's struggling, to do the mitzvahs properly, and it's struggling to do all these things. And why is this dafka with the body? Why is it with the body? Because the neshamas, because the mitzvahs were given in this physical world with the body. And most of them with the body. The whole purpose of being done here is not that the neshamas do mitzvahs, that the body does a mitzvah. And that's why all mitzvahs, as we're going to explain, are with the body. But in regards to the guf, the body, even though the mitzvahs have to be done with the body has a struggle with it. Kamas, it's a load, it's a burden. But it doesn't have any desire. The body doesn't want to get up in the morning and learn chassidus. The body wants to go sleep in. The body doesn't want to go to bed on time so you can get up in the morning to learn chassidus, but the body wants to go shmooze and hang out and waste the night away. The body doesn't want to eat healthy food and take care of ourselves so we can have a healthy, productive life. The body wants to just sit around, eat pizza, drink beer, and waste the day away. And because of that, it's a hassle. It's a burden for the body. This whole thing. So how do we deal with this? So just to recap, we explained from the Zohar that the Zohar talks about that Sarah is the body and Avram is the neshama. And according to that, and then that's the whole discussion with Kiryas Arba, with Sarah passing away, and Avram is crying, and the neshama cries for the body because the neshama is connected with the body. But we said in 1 second, but if Sarah is the body, why does it say in the pasuk, Kol asher Tamar, that Hashem says to Avram, whatever Sarah says, you should listen to her. Now, why would we say that the neshama should listen to the body? It's a weird thing. The body is the one that's making all the problems, and the neshama doesn't have any problems, and the neshama's problem is the body. We said, I don't know what's. So now we start bringing what the Baal Shem Tov says about Kisir Chamar Senecha. You see the donkey, and what's the donkey? And it's the Chamar. It's the Chumrius. You see the body is struggling under the load of doing mitzvahs. We have to figure out how to help it. How does the neshama help the body? Because the body doesn't want to do mitzvahs. It's a burden, and the neshama sees this. The neshama is not a burden to mitzvahs, but for the body it is. So how do we deal with this? Gimel. Besides the fact that the mitzvahs are given to a neshama in a body, So it has to deal with the body. Chayei guf hamitzvahs nislabshu b'dvarim gashmim. The body of the mitzvahs, most mitzvahs have to be done with gashus. Not just the mitzvahs, including the gashus. It's all about the gashus. Lo irak mitzvahs ma'aseh. It's not just even physical mitzvahs like giving tzedakah. You have to use your physical hand, or putting on tefillin, use your physical hand. A lot of showers kind of with your physical hand. Ela gam mitzvahs heim chayvus halavavis. Even a mitzvah that is spent on the heart could go in, for example, mitzvahs emunas hayichud. Yeah, like the mitzvah of unity and belief in God. What's the physicality of believing in God? God says, "Hey, look, we have to feel it in our physical, but it has to physically change. We talked about this before in the other sikhs, that it should affect us to the point that we feel different. And when we learn something, and it's not expected to happen learning it once, but when you learn something a few times, you really try to connect with it, you try to live with it, it gets you emotional. And that's how it should be. That's what he's saying. That even those mitzvahs which are the heart, but it has to be felt. We should be feeling this. The mitzvahs Avos Hashem, for example, loving Hashem. You have to feel love for Hashem. You have to have a physical feeling. That's like physicality, like there's a famous saying that good news will expand the burns. Like it says in the Gemara, that good news brought out a change in physicality in the guf. Loving Hashem should have an effect on the physical body. That closeness to Hashem is good for me. And we should feel different. And this is, and we're talking about this, and this is something, it's all achievable and doable, and I think it's a beautiful part. But like what he's saying is that like, to use a bad example, but when you watch an emotional movie or like a war movie, like the Holocaust, one of these bad, but it's like it affects you. Sure, it affects you, and I'm sure we felt it affect us. And that's what we're saying, that when we learn something, it should affect us. Now, learning is a little more difficult because it's using your brain, not just sitting there and watching, but the experience can happen. That's why I say, especially when it comes to learning Torah, because the subject matter is very difficult. Not difficult, but it's like, it's a process. You have to process it. So it might not happen the first time you learn it, but our goal should be, we should be affected by what we learn. It should affect us. Like I say, when I started understanding Chassidus very well, I saw one of my teachers from Maino, and he saw me all like excited, and he's like, what's going on with you? What happened? What did you take? So I said to him, I understand Chassidus now. So he's like, what do you mean? So I said to him, before I used to say the Nefesh Bahamas, but now I know what I'm talking. I know who we're talking about. And I said, before I used to come to Chassidus Shabbos morning because I want to be a Chassid. Now I come to Chassidus in the morning Shabbos because I want to learn Chassidus. Because before I was like, I wanted to be a Chassid, whatever that means. What do I have to do? I have to learn Chassidus, I'll learn Chassidus. But the learning Chassidus didn't mean anything to me. It was the checklist that I was able to check off, that I felt good about doing the right things. But now I feel excited, and I get that feeling from the learning Chassidus itself. But it's very important. I was speaking to one of the, in Shiur, there's a mashpia that he teaches, and he said to me over Tishrei, he said, I noticed that something happened to you when you learned. It was this Chassidus. We've been learning for a while already. I learned a few Mamarim, I learned a few Sikhs, and these Sikhs, I really connect with you. He said, I don't know what it was. In the beginning I was like, I don't know. Like I enjoyed all of it, and everything was good. But then I realized what he was talking about, and what had happened. The ones that he was talking about that I got more affected, or he saw a change within me, was because I did Chazar on it. And I realized the other ones I learned once a week, come to Shul, I listen, and I get excited. But that's it. Whereas the other ones that I really connected with, and really he saw a change within me, it's because I was going over and I was learning it. And this is very important. It's like a simple example is this Shiur. We listen to it, it's nice, and it's better than nothing, it's very good. But if you get a chance to go over it, or look at it inside, or listen to the Shiur again, and really and you'll have a whole different experience. Yeah, I'll just finish with the last paragraph. So just like with love, that should affect us. Like I said, coming close to God should be good for me, meaning I should feel that it's good. Not I'm doing the right thing, but it feels good. So to with Yira, Alea, Ale Ligroim, Loirak, Le Kivutz, B'moyach, Oyafigu Lev, Ella Ale Liyoit, B'mida Kazush, Ye Nika, B'kesh Gashmi, Shalom Moyach, Alev Shahu, Shari of a Pachad. Fear of Hashem and of an Avera should be to such an extent that we physically fear, afraid. We're afraid of doing it. Yeah, like we see, to finish up with the story that he brings on here. That's what we're saying. We're saying it's just like love. You should feel love, and you feel it, and like Kiva's looking into it, that coming close to God should feel good for me. So too with fear, we should have that feeling of fear. Like I'm afraid of running on the road. It's uncomfortable. So too, when it comes to doing it, so that we should be able to produce that feeling within us. Like it says in the story, it's being on the story. V'chol inyan, like every idea. Hiranu nesienu dugma. The Rebbein give us an example. Let's see. So with this example, so this idea of Yira, we have an example from Alter Rebbe. Super al Rebbeinu Zaken. It's talked about by the Alter Rebbe. So when he was davening Rosh Hashanah Kippur, and he was up to the point of it says, and therefore he should give fear. Heichel is galgal al haaretz terkidei amira pach pach. Psucha. Umarei pach aloi haya b'efsharus l'saymis hamelach. He said, so he couldn't say pachtecha, he couldn't say your fear. He started saying pach, he started saying the word, and he got so much fear came over him that he so the Alter Rebbe would roll around. One of the things the Alter Rebbe, I know everyone knows that he used to roll around a lot because of dveikus, of excitement. He was totally, that's how it would happen. So he started rolling around because of the word pachad. He couldn't even say the word pachad, he was so afraid, he was so intense. Not that he's afraid God's going to strike him down, but he's afraid of the awesomeness of God. It's like imagine you're walking, on a hike, and you're walking through the forest, and suddenly you come out this opening over a cliff, and you see the vast plains, no water, and it's the most beautiful thing. It's just it takes your breath away. And this is what we're talking about. I'll try to think about Hashem, and it's so this pacha that he had, it was whoa, it was too much for him. He couldn't even say the word. Couldn't finish the rest of the paragraph. After a little bit of time, then you can finish saying the word pachta. It took him time. And so what we're learning here, continue tomorrow, what we're learning here is that when we do Judaism, and now Judaism is being done, and this is for sure, if we have this and we work on this, it's so good that kids can see it, and they see that we're emotional. When we sing a song, or you read something, you learn something, and they see you get emotional. It has an impact on them. Wow, this person really lives this stuff. And now, if we don't, that doesn't mean we're bad people. It just means it's a process. We shouldn't feel bad about ourselves. We should find out, how could we make that? How could we have that emotion? How could we connect with this more? The first question is, do I understand what I'm saying? I can't connect to something I don't understand. If I watched a movie in Chinese, could be the most emotional movie, I would not get what's going on. I don't know what's going on. So first I have to make sure it's not Chinese to me and understand this idea. And then I think about it, and slowly, we walk down a little bit and we get there. And with Hashem, by us, we should have the Avos Hashem, Yiras Hashem, we should feel it in ourselves. And with Hashem, to be continued tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.